Austin Forsyth almost lost his life, but Jim Bob cared more about his courtship rules. Over the years, Duggar News followers know a lot of things have changed in the Duggar family. At first, they were big stars on TLC due to their IBLP lifestyle and overly conservative beliefs. But after Josh Duggar went to jail, fans realized not everything that shines is glitter and began to question the family's toxic ways. Some of their kids have also called out the messy side of their religion many times. While Jinger Duggar has made a career out of it, some of her other siblings have also questioned their conditioning. One of them has been Joy-Anna Duggar. She recently opened up about how breaking a courtship rule landed her in trouble. Shockingly, it happened over something quite serious, as her husband, Austin Forsyth, almost lost his life. What was it? In a new podcast appearance, Joy-Anna revealed a lot of things about her family. Duggar News followers know how many of the kids have expressed distaste about not believing in some aspects of their religion. Jinger Duggar has also written a book about it. It helped Joy-Anna question things about their religion too. She also added smoke to the fire by calling out more absurd things instilled by her father, Jim Bob. Joy-Anna said how all his kids' potential courtship prospects would get a courting checklist. It would contain things about finance, religious standings, and so on. Joy-Anna's husband Austin said some of the things in it were really none of Jim Bob's business, like knowing arrest records. Well, his wife agreed to this and sighed she doesn't hate the list, but would like tweaking some things from it. She also revealed some more absurd courting rules that got her in trouble. During the podcast, the hosts asked Joy-Anna and Austin about their courting period. They wanted to know whether they got into trouble for hugging too long, or something like that. That's when the latter said how he totaled his truck and almost lost his life during their courting period. So, Joy-Anna wanted to see her boyfriend, but they had to have chaperones during courting at all times. When Joy-Anna went to meet her husband-to-be, she gave him a big hug and started to cry. She did so and held onto his arm for 10 to 15 minutes. Her brother noticed it and told Jim Bob about it, and he was annoyed. During courting, they are not allowed to hold hands, and that's how she violated that rule. Well, Duggar News followers had a lot to say about this story. Some were outraged. They said how Austin almost lost his life in the accident, but all Jim Bob cared about were his courting rules. While Joy-Anna and her husband recited the story in a lighthearted way, viewers were upset. They called the patriarch out for not being empathetic enough and relying on absurd rules. Jinger tells POPL that she was able to tell them all together, and they were the cutest as they reacted to the baby news. Once Jinger Duggar Vulo knew she was expecting her third child with Jeremy Vulo, her mother and sisters were the first people she told. But the crazy way in which the big reveal happened was unexpected for the famed brood. My sisters and my mom all came out for my sister Jenna, Duggar Wisman's bachelorette weekend in LA. They were all talking about this throughout the day. They had a big hot tub, and they're like, "We're all going to go enjoy the hot tub later," Jinger 30 tells POPL exclusively. They said, "Unless anybody has any news to share, because you're not supposed to sit in the hot tub when you're pregnant." The Counting on Alum admits the hot tub thing was actually a real thing I didn't think about, but she didn't say a word, and she kept it quiet. Jinger then contacted Jeremy, 37, to gauge his thoughts on how she should proceed. "I texted him and I was like, should I just tell them tonight?" And he said, "Of course, that's so special. They're all there together," she said. "So my mom and sisters, they all went in the hot tub, and then I came out later. They noticed I was sitting on the edge, but I didn't say anything. Then they were like, 'Isn't it cold? You going to get in?' I was like, 'Well, I guess you shouldn't do that if you're pregnant, right?' She shared. They just were so shocked. They were the cutest. I was able to tell them all together." Afterward, Jinger's sister Jessa Duggar Seawold was able to figure out her baby's gender. When we were in Arkansas, I did a blood test to find out the gender. Jessa got the results. She's my sister who's just right above me. She got the results and then she sent it to us because I wanted us to find out together, Jinger says. I didn't want it to just come to my email. I said, I need to send it to her. That way Jeremy and I can find out together, she adds. So then, she sent us a package with a little outfit that told us the gender. So sweet. Oh, so sweet. As for Jeremy, the former Major League Soccer player told his parents as the couple filmed an episode of their podcast. We were filming our podcast, and so they were watching the girls for an hour. We told them, hey, in about an hour, we'd like to have you guys on the podcast just to talk about some parenting stuff. So if you could just get ready, he tells PUPL exclusively. They got ready and then we had them sit down. We were filming the podcast and we just started asking them very specific questions, like, what advice would you give to a young couple who's about to have their third child? He continues. They start giving answers, but then you can see their face. It starts dawning on them. Then I put my arm around Jinger, and I asked another question. I don't remember what it was. And then, it dawned on them, and they kind of were in shock. And everything's devolved from there, but it was fun. Jinger and Jeremy announced with PUPL exclusively on October 15 that they were expecting their third child together. The twosome, who weed in November 2016, are currently parents to daughters Felicity, 6, and Evangeline, 3. Jinger Vuolo, née Duggar, revealed that her brother Jason Duggar's wedding to wife Maddie Grace broke a family rule set in place by parents Jim Bob Duggar and Michelle Duggar. Jason, 24, and Maddie opted to have a dance floor at their wedding reception that took place in Tennessee on October 3, making it the first Duggar wedding to include dancing. Some stuff happened at this wedding that's never happened at a Duggar wedding before, Jinger's husband, Jeremy Vuolo, said during the Wednesday, October 23, episode of the Jinger and Jeremy podcast. You know what I'm talking about, 3 words, cha slide. Jinger, 30, noted that Jason's wedding was the first in her family to include a dance floor, and she revealed that many of the guests didn't know how to dance unless the song provided specific instruction. No one knows how to dance, the former Counting On star said. I mean, not no one. Some of the siblings, some of them have done dance lessons, and some of the bridesmaids. But it's not part of the culture at all, and so it just was interesting. That was an experience. After noting that Jonna Duggar and Stephen Wisman shared a first dance during their wedding in August, Jason and Maddie provided the opportunity for everyone to get on the dance floor. Jason and Maddie had the first dance, and then they opened the dance floor, Jeremy, 37, explained. This poor DJ had to be so confused as to what was happening. Beautiful first dance, and then daddy-daughter dance, and then they opened the dance floor, and he was playing hits. According to Jeremy, the DJ would get confused after noticing the crowd would only get on the dance floor when he played songs with instructions. I went up to him at one point, and I was like, bro, do you have any idea what you gotta do at this wedding? Jeremy said. And he was like, no, but it's wild. And I just said, dude, you just need to know, they don't dance. Despite being a new experience for the Duggars, Jeremy insisted that including dancing in the ceremony made for a ton of fun. He then told his wife, but it made me realize, Jinger, as many weddings as we go to, we gotta take some dance lessons. Jim Bob, 59, and Michelle, 58, raised their kids under a strict set of rules, including that they weren't allowed to dance. While the parents have said that dancing promotes sensuality, especially for us, because I'm from Tennessee, and so half my family lives in Tennessee and Kentucky, and then we're moving to Arkansas. Maddie told People about the ceremony in a story published on October 4. "It's just a big party where everybody gets together." She added that it was special to have everybody together just to celebrate their nuptials. "You never get another day in your life where all of your loved ones are together," she added. Jill Duggar has 3 sons with husband Derek Dillard. Whether someone is in the public eye or they're your next-door neighbor, it's never a good idea to speculate or voice those speculations about a pregnancy. But because Jill Duggar comes from a family where pregnancies are as frequent as blowing your nose, it's hard for some fans not to continuously wonder if Jill Duggar is pregnant again, especially after she shared some family photos on Instagram featuring herself, her husband Derek Dillard, and their 3 sons. In April 2024, Jill and Derek shared the loss of their daughter, Isla, on Instagram. Jill was 4 months pregnant when she and Derek found out their baby died while still in utero. If Jill is pregnant again, they could be taking things more slowly with an announcement, but that hasn't stopped Jill's fans and followers from wondering. As of October 2024, Jill has not announced a pregnancy to the public. So as far as anyone is concerned, she is not pregnant with another baby. However, some of her more eagle-eyed followers noticed some details in her family photos on Instagram that sort of paved the way for the rumors in the first place. Again, it's never a good idea to speculate on someone's pregnancy, whether they are actively trying to have a baby or not. But the floppy-eared stuffed bunny, with a pink bow in one of Jill's photos, has some of her followers wondering if the family photo shoot doubled as a pregnancy announcement that Jill plans to reveal at a later date. Others commented on the post to speculate that the bunny may just be in the photos as a tribute to Jill and Derek's stillborn daughter. Another comment under the photos pointed out that in one picture, it looks like Jill's youngest son is holding a hand to her stomach. That would certainly be cause for the rumor mill to start churning away. And another user pointed out that one of Jill and Derek's photos is cropped right below the chest. But for now, Jill and Derek have not shared any baby news. Jill gave birth to her first child, Israel, in 2015. At the time, Jill and Derek were still on 19 kids and counting. 2 years later, Jill had Samuel. A few years after that, Jill suffered her first miscarriage with a son that she and Derek named River. The following year, they welcomed their son Frederick, and in April 2024, their daughter Isla was stillborn. In the past, Jill has spoken about birth control and family planning, both of which were not accepted measures in the Duggar family. And in her book, Counting the Cost, Jill admitted that she did not love the idea of going through a zillion pregnancies and deliveries. So if she and Derek plan to have another baby, chances are, if Jill is pregnant, they planned carefully for it. Jill Duggar does it best when she says nothing at all. After sharing a family photo shoot, the Counting on star sparked pregnancy speculation earlier this week. She chose a few photos to share, but they conveniently hid her belly in every shot. Earlier this year, Jill and Derek Dillard lost a baby girl, Isla Marie Dillard. They have publicly grieved her and even included a bunny in the photo shoot to represent her as part of their family. Instead of fighting the comments about her expecting again, Jill highlighted her recent weight loss and thrift finds. She isn't letting any speculation get to her. On her Instagram story, Jill Duggar shared a mirror selfie highlighting her thrift finds and revealing that she does not have a baby bump. While the selfie may be older, it isn't much, as she looks similar to the photos she took at Jason Duggar's wedding earlier this month. After walking away from Counting on in 2017, things haven't been easy for Jill Duggar. Her husband, Derek Dillard, and her cousin, Amy Duggar King, have been her primary sources of support. Jill wrote Counting the Cost, which detailed her relationship with Jim Bob Duggar and the events that occurred while she was growing up at the Big House. She also participated in the filming of Shiny Happy People, a docuseries about Bill Gothard and the Duggar family's teachings. The Counting on star was honest, revealing that her decision to speak out about her truth caused a strain in some relationships with her siblings. Joy Anna Duggar is likely one who took issue with Jill because of it. Jill has also struggled with the loss of her daughter during the second trimester of her pregnancy. She and Derek had not yet announced a baby was on the way. Instead, they announced the loss of their baby girl. She has attended the most recent Duggar weddings, traveling to Tennessee for the latest one. It seems she and Derek can show up at family gatherings outside the big house without any trouble, but a smaller setting with some siblings may be a bit more awkward. Jill seems to be improving, and she hinted another book may be in the works.